Welcome to Wrestling is Hard, where every side is the dark side of the ring. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at hard4wrestling. Email questions and complaints at wrestlingisHard@gmail.com. Jim, Brandon, happy 4th of July to you.
Happy 4th of July, Jim. How was your weekend?
It was excellent. I actually got out. I did some stuff. I got some color. Saw everybody's kids. Went out kid shopping. Checking out kids. Hey, there's a kid. There's that kid I haven't seen before. Yeah, all right, there it is. All right, good. I'm not buying any. I'm out of here.
How are these kids looking?
They're looking good. They look like kids. They're all very, very well behaved, which I can't complain about because I've known some pretty shitty kids over the years. How about you, Brandon? How was it?
Well, not bad. I went out to my girlfriend's house, stayed there for most of the weekend, set off her dad's fireworks for him because he has multiple fingers missing from separate fireworks accidents over the years. So I'm now the
designated fireman.
And listen to a bunch of 50-year-old guys talk about the end of the world. I feel like, especially the farther away you get from the city and plus the age of these guys, it's like everybody's. I feel like I'm at like a militia meeting.
I'm looking for a picture of me when a firework went off in my hand. Hold on. Believe it's on social media. But how else did it go? While I look for this.
Yeah, well, you looked that up. Not bad at all. Got asked, now, are you one of them liberals? A couple times.
Cool.
So cool stuff like that. Talked about hoarding rations, what kind of guns people bought. That's kind of bullshit that people are into, I guess.
You guys see that?
Oh my God.
That's my hand.
Not too bad.
I can't zoom. That's my hand. There it is. Black as shit. I gotta hold it. Almost lost a finger.
That's hilarious.
I lit it and it blew up in my hands. That's why you're supposed to put them down first. So if you want to check out my burn ass fingers, go to our YouTube page and subscribe and watch. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's all I got. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought that was funny. All of a sudden, it's like, they're not producing diesel oil anymore. I've been hoarding diesel oil in case anybody needs some. I'm just like who the fuck care about this shit?
What are you talking about? I witnessed my first "Let's Go Brandon" shirt in public.
Yeah. Okay. Welcome.
I saw one. The guy definitely looked like he knew what he was talking about. Like that, I should be like, man, this guy's got it right. He looked like he was like touched, a little bit touched, a little off.
I bought one of those shot glasses. My girlfriend hid it in our closet, but I'm like, maybe it's my name. It's kind of American history.
It is. It will be.
Hoard one.
My daughter and I were down the shore. We were down the shore last year. Like down the shore in Jersey, Ocean City, Wildwood. They have these T-shirt joints that just pick up whatever the fuck they can sell. So they got all the trends, Minions, Dragon Ball Z. Everybody's got a Dragon Ball Z fucking design. But the one year was all Trump shit. She and I were like, man, we should, like I was saying to her, I was like, when does it become kitschy to own this stuff?
Yeah.
Like if I own this and somebody comes over to the house and like, what the fuck's with all this bullshit? They'll think I'm like a crazy person. But when does it become like ironic that I own a Trump on the body of Arnold Schwarzenegger, holding an American flag and fighting a crocodile or something like that?
Exactly. Yeah. That was our grand finale this year was a big firework, 168 shot cake that the image on it was Trump standing on top of a tank.
Nice. He's so manly.
Rifle.
He's so man. He's such a manly man. Chris, how was your weekend?
I got questions. So many questions
here.
What do you got?
I was told this before. I vaguely remember. First of all, let me just say this. There was a period where Jimmy is a very intelligent man. There was a period of Jim's life.
What is this?
There was a period of Jim's life where he was completely fucking brainless. And I believe the firework in the hand was in the midst of that brainless era of James, where he was look, at that point I was even more out of my mind, but Jim was in another dimension at that point, and I believe that was the height of it, was the firework exploding in your hand.
Yeah, black ass hands.
Yeah.
Was it a bottle rocket or was this?
No, it was like it's Black Cat's like a brick of
like
firecrackers.
Little M80 type little tied together things.
Yeah, the little ones, not the M80s. They were just crackers. And I lit it and went to throw it, and it blew up in my hand before I lit it. Like as soon as I lit it, it was like.
Brandon, What was Let's Go Brandon? I forget that.
You don't know what Let's Go Brandon is?
No, just assume
Really?
I don't know what anything is. I remember it, but I don't remember it. Like I remember it was a thing, but I can't remember the specifics.
I'll let you Google that. We don't have to talk about it.
Okay, we're gonna do it right now. Yeah. So first of all, we grabbed some steaks and hung in the pool and was in bed early enough to have the fireworks wake me up. So that was probably around 9, I guess. But that's about it. We were on vacation 2 weeks ago, so we weren't really looking to do anything. But I wharfed down a porterhouse and a half, and that was it. More importantly, the 5th, we're celebrating the 33rd birthday of Seinfeld. That was released today. So we have to, just that's more important, I think, to me right now than the birthplace of our nation. But I don't have much more to say.
33 years ago.
Yeah,
you believe
that
it?
was. Yeah, still watching it, still rolling.
That's when it started 33 years ago.
Yep.
So jokes still stand, some of them.
Did you look it up, Chris?
I want to hear. You don't have to discuss it. I just want your reaction to it.
Hold on.
I think Chris is looking at boobs instead.
You just see a reflection in his glasses of just a penis going into a butt.
Hey, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Or the video, there's people fucking on the parkway.
Let's
So Chris,
do
what
it.
do you got?
A race car driver?
Okay. Okay, I'll let you figure it out.
I
We'll
don't
talk
know
about it
what-
off air.
Yeah,
Talk
okay.
about wrestling. Yeah. Let's talk about wrestling. So Stardom, you guys catch it out. Check it out. The Stardom. What was it called again? Fight in the Top.
Fight in
2
the top.
matches. Fight in the top.
Inside of the top.
And it's spinning top, not at the top. Spinning top, like a kid's toy. They were inside it. I wish. There's 2 cage matches. It was pretty ridiculous. Tom Nakano versus Natsupoi. We're used to watching these cage matches and their WWE rules where you have to escape. This one was you had to pin someone, then you were allowed to escape. Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah, interesting rule set. Got to get the pin and then you got to get out. I was expecting this to be brutal. Fire the video up. It's like brutal. Fire the video up. It's like 30 plus minutes. Not as crazy as like the Manami Toyota cage matches of the past that we've watched. First Stardom cage match I've seen. I'm not sure if this is the first time that they've done that, but
it is.
I think served pretty well for their first one. These girls, they're so nimble, and especially when they're really exhausted. And I don't know if it's how much trying to look exhausted, but they just like flop right onto their head and neck multiple times. And I'm like, holy shit! It's like I think they can rely on that 110-pound frame and youthfulness, but there's a couple spots, especially I think in this one where right off the top of the cage it just gets completely crushed, and then at the end there, Natsupoi, pretty sweet finish. Does after she gets pinned, that final ascent over the top, she just ends up getting choked out, hanging off of the cage, and the ref kind of catches her, but she still slams into the apron of the ring. But entertaining stuff from this.
Yeah, this is the first time ever. I didn't expect to see blood, at least none that was accidental, none that was on purpose. But it was fun. So, Chris, thoughts?
Yeah, one of the biggest things you notice about these Stardom shows is that, and it's all of them, it's not just because it was in a cage. There's a lot of cringe moments, the way that these women take bumps. It's just insane. I dug the ending, the basically just chucking the dead body back into the ring to be able to climb over. I did find it. I did have to figure it out. Like I was like, oh, you got to pin them and then climb out. Okay, all right. So there was a little bit of that, but I'm sure if you spoke Japanese, it was laid out for you pretty easy.
Or read my notes, Chris.
No, I did. I just watched it. I probably read it. I don't know what Let's Go Brandon is, so who knows how I'm going to remember this. Fucking. So yeah, but it was a lot of fun. Like I said, I was kind of when I turned it, I was like, there's no way we're seeing blood here. Like you said, Jim, unless it's like they get clipped or cut, there's no intentional bleeding going to happen. I knew that wasn't going to happen. I did like the fact that the cage was like raw as fuck.
Yeah,
It wasn't like produced.
She was dragging Tom's face and Tom's like gets that weird eyeball that like a cat gets. It's all stretched out and weird looking. She's got her face up against the cage. It was pretty cool.
And Tom always looks like she's in some state of agony at all times. Very strange.
Her face swells so fast.
Her face is always all swollen. It's always like this state of she's always in the agony and the ecstasy at all times, this woman.
Oh, she does a good job.
Yep, very good.
Pretty cool. Recommends. Also, there's a cage match after that. So since they were already doing a cage match, mind you, this cage match whole storyline just showed up out of nowhere. They were just like, yeah, let's have a cage match. Okay, sure, fine. So we get the Stars team of Mayu Iwatani, Hazuki, and Koguma versus Queen's Quest, the team of Tami Hayashishita, Saya Kamitani, and Azumi in an escape rules only. And the whole thing was that Koguma wanted to wrestle Azumi, but Azumi's too fast, so she said, okay, I'll put you in a cage. But then everybody else in the cage didn't want to be there. They were all trying, especially Mayu and fucking Utami, who immediately tried to escape as soon as the bell rings. This was fun. I thought this was a fun fucking match. A little long, but a whole lot of fun. Brandon.
Yeah, I agree. Fun. This classic spot right at the beginning, two people just try to immediately bolt out and people have to pull them back in. Interesting rules here. The whole team has to get out separately, so people are trickling out throughout the match. And even though I did read your notes about who's afraid of heights and who's not, there's a little bit of trying to figure out like what's going on here. Does this specific person want to get out of the ring, or are they trying to stay in the cage here and keep going? It's like classic spot fest stuff from the 6-man or 6-woman cage match. And then Koguma just basically cannonballs into a bunch of people to end the match there. One girl looked like she hurt her shoulder pretty good.
Yeah, she landed on him, man. I like that. That's a good thing where she's like, we're so used to, like, she climbs to the top and it's two people left, her and Azumi. She climbs to the top and you're expecting her to go for the big dive onto Azumi and then get out. But she's like, fuck this. I'm just diving outside.
Just go home.
Lands on 20 people and wins. Chris, thoughts?
Yeah, so when this match started, I was watching it and I was like, oh God, 6-man, it's gonna be all I was just waiting for a spot fest that I'm not we had this conversation before. I'm not a big fan of trios. But they turned the corner and they turned it really quick and it was very entertaining. And like you said, the finish I thought was fucking great. Yeah, excellent match. Really dug it.
Once again, if you want to check it out, go subscribe to their YouTube channel. Been a month. These show up with some backstage segments and stuff. Not in English. Sadly, we still haven't gotten to the point where we have English commentary, but one day we'll get there. But more importantly, coming out of this, we get a show coming up this weekend. There's a big weekend. This is a big weekend in Joshi Wrestling. There's a bunch of big shows coming up this weekend. But one of the bigger ones is this Midsummer Champs, Stardom's Midsummer Champs, where we get the main events, co-main events. Saya Kamitani's defending against Starlight Kid, and probably already a front runner. It hasn't even happened yet. One of the front runners for possible match of the year. We're going to get Syuri versus Momo Watanabe, which should be fucking insane match. If you guys remember last year, we watched the G1 final, the 5-star final, which is basically Stardom's version of the G1 Climax, where these two women, Momo ended up in the final, and they beat the fucking piss out of each other for like 20 minutes. Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah, should be really interesting. How long do we have to go until that?
5 days after it airs on July 9th. So probably not the next episode, but 2 episodes.
So right when we're getting into G1 there.
Yeah,
not a ton of thoughts. Look, seems exciting. Remember what you referenced from last year, but we'll wait and see. I'm not going to tag it match of the year just yet, but Stardom usually doesn't let down with these.
They don't, unless somebody gets hurt, and we don't want that to happen, but they usually live up to the expectation. Chris, thoughts?
It'll be fun. I'm excited. I mean, looking forward to it. Gives me something to watch. In a desert of wrestling right now. I'll be very happy to watch this.
All right. So
I gotta say, I think
go ahead.
As we're going into the G1 here, and then AEW, something about, like, especially this weekend, I felt like 4th of July when it's gorgeous out. I'm just like, oh man,
man.
this shit's got to be good. It's got to be good for me to get through.
This is a tough
What am I
week.
doing?
Like, we'll talk about AEW in a minute, but man, fucking, the last thing I wanted to do this morning when I got up was watch fucking wrestling. Get caught up on all the wrestling I missed. Like, I didn't want to watch any of the shit.
I'm like, oh god, blood and guts.
Like, come on. What else? Okay, so there are 5 stars coming. I did couple of people that you might be excited about. Risa Sarah, who we watched fight Siri, she's going to be in their tournament. She'll get a few wins. That was a great match. That was the match where she got choked out and the corner had to throw in the towel. That match fucking ruled. And we're getting Suzu Suzuki in the same group as Julia. That should be fun too. Because nice. Suzu Suzuki's not going to lose much, and she's going against some fucking quality wrestlers. Like, there's no bad wrestlers in Stardom. So it should be a good fucking tournament. And the best thing about 5-star, the matches are 10-minute time limit. They're so fucking fast. They blow through them. It's not G1 where it's 20-minute time. It's 10 minutes. So fast. So you can get a bunch of matches in an hour and a half, and it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's huge.
Speaking of G1, let's talk about this. Okay, so we talked about how they had released some of the guys, what the guys are, some of the names. We talked about that. But they came out with the blocks. And real quick, we'll go through the blocks. And you guys have, I'm assuming you haven't seen any of the blocks yet, or maybe you've taken a look at the blocks. We'll go through and we'll say who you think is going to win, and we'll get our final 4 out of that. Sound good, Brandon?
Yep. Let's do it.
Let's go.
I have taken a look at it, but
yeah. All right, so block A, which everybody's calling the heavyweight block. So we got Lance Archer, you've got Jonah, Toru Yano, Kazuchika Okada, Tom Lawler of New Japan Strong, Jeff Cobb, and Bad Luck Fale. So the big boys all going at it. Thoughts and your pick?
Yeah, heavyweight block is right. I'll go first on this one. This is clearly the Okada's going to be fighting a similar match again and again with these big guys, and then you'll have a storyline there where he has to adjust back down to whoever's flying against him in the final 4. But I would be shocked if it was anybody but him here. I'm hoping Jeff Cobb has another strong performance, though. I remember him being great from last year.
Right, I think he'll definitely beat Okada at some point, but I would say Okada's winning this. Chris, thoughts?
Toru Yano all the way.
Okay, there you go.
So it's going to be interesting to see Tom Lawler over there.
Yeah.
And obviously, but yeah, it's looks pretty obvious that Okada will be taking that.
So we'll move on to block B. We got Taichi, Tamatanga, Tomohiro Ishii, who barely made it in apparently, according to reports. So he's definitely on the chopping block for grandpa status with New Japan, which is, he's earned it. Jay White, Sonata, the Great O'Carney, and Chase Owens. Brandon, thoughts? Pick.
Yeah, some interesting names in here as far as stock. Sonata, I feel like moving in the wrong direction after almost winning 2 years ago. Okan moving up. Could see him, hanging in this to the end. Jay White, obviously at the top of it. I don't know. Jay White, I guess I go with here into the final 4.
Right, as a little spoiler.
Chalky.
The champ, I don't believe the champ has ever won G1 Climax. They're always in it, but I don't think they've ever won. Jay White, right?
So right. So I don't know if they're going to dump him early and try to bump up Okan or have Jay White get into, now that you have a final 4, not just a final. So
another situation where you can have, it's another situation where you can have Jay White lose to Sonata. You get a match down the line. He can lose to Tamatanga. We can get a match because they kind of have a feud going on. He could lose to Okan, and he can have a match, building up to Wrestle Kingdom or whatever. Interesting. Go ahead, Chris. What do you think?
The obvious answer is Chase Owens. He'll be taking that block.
Like you're taking all the underdogs.
No, we're going to go with Jay White on this one.
You got the guys with the worst fits, too.
Yeah. I'm going to go
out of shape dudes.
Yeah. I'm going to take, I think we're going to see like you said, we're going to get a loss to him, to one of those guys. It's a good way to get O'Carney up on the card. It's a good way to, knowing New Japan, they usually throw in a guy like Tamatanga as it's one of these guys. It's like, oh God, you're giving us a main event. We know later on down the line main event. Like, all right, so he's going to Wrestle Kingdom, or he's going to have a problem with this guy. but we'll have some beef with some dude that wrestler A is just going to annihilate in the main event at some weird, off main, what do they call? I don't know what you would call it. It's not a pay-per-view, but you know what I'm saying.
Or no, it'll be a yeah, what the fuck is it? Not Don Taco.
A cyber attack.
Yeah, like what is
One
the
of
one
those.
I think it's called Final Bat. What the fuck? I can't remember. Go ahead.
Final Battles. Yeah. So but New Japan loves to do that. Like, oh well, Jay White won that block, but he's got beef with Tama Tonga. All right, let's build this feud for a month, but the outcome of it. It's just, and it ends up in a match that we won't even talk about. But yeah, Jay White on this one.
I can't think of them. There's New Beginning. There's Dontaku's in the summer. There's the ones that happen every year. And there's always the one right after G1 Climax where it's the dude that beat the champ challenges for the title in the main event and has no chance of winning.
But it's not Dominion.
It is
That's
Dominion.
earlier.
No,
Dominion is early in the year.
Dominion is June. Yeah.
Who knows?
I don't know. All right, C block. Here's an interesting one.
Summer struggle.
No, it's not Summer Struggle. It's in the fall. Are you looking up the list of them? You'll find
Look, I got
Autumn Attack.
Oh, it might
Well,
be. No, it's not Castle Attack.
They got Summer Struggle, Resurgence last year, Power Struggle,
Power Struggle. It might be.
Capital. Yeah, I don't know.
Capital Gains Tax.
All this like the same 6 words mixed up.
Block C. Kenta, ZSJ, Hiroki Goto, because the G in G1 stands for Goto. Never forget. Hiroshi Tanahashi, Tetsuya Naito, Aaron Henare, and Evil. So there's one dude that's definitely eaten a lot of losses, and that's Aaron Henare. He might get a surprise here and there, but Brandon, thoughts on this one? C block. This is a tough one.
Yeah, I mean, this is the best block of them all as far as night
Block
by
of
night.
death,
As you're going
yeah.
through the G1. Holy shit. Goto looked great in AEW. We'll get to that a little bit. Tanahashi, always going to have great matches. I think we're probably past the point of him being a competitor for the win at this point. ZSJ almost won. Naito, we immediately got hurt last time, so I think I'm probably leaning him with my pick, and then Kenta and Evil kind of hiding out at the bottom, which wouldn't be surprised to see either of them to overperform versus my expectations, especially Kenta. Evil always a little bit fucking disappointing when he racks up some dubs, but.
So who would you pick?
Sorry, in the middle of all that mumbo jumbo, Naito is the pick.
I got you. Chris.
You got that?
Great, Chris.
I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go with Aaron Henare.
Okay. Aaron Henare is fit though. The other guys weren't so bad. Go ahead.
No, I want to go night. I'm going to mix it up. So I'm just going to go with Kenta. So we're not just saying this because some of the we're running into the obvious here. So
this is definitely this is the block of death though. If you use a soccer analogy, this is the block of death.
I'm going to just pick Kenta just to go in a different direction.
All right, I'm going to take Evil.
Mm-hmm.
I thought for sure you would be on ZSJ, Chris. You've been calling him to tip the scale over.
He's burning you a little bit the last couple years.
Yeah, I mean, like it's not that.
He went 6-0 and he fucking lost. He didn't make it.
Yeah. So it's just like, fuck. It's not ZSJ. And here's the other thing about ZSJ though. He don't need to win shit. Yeah. Like it doesn't fucking matter. He's always got somebody to fucking blame. You know what I mean? It's always somebody's fault. I don't want to be here anymore. Fuck you. You don't like me because of this. So, it doesn't, he's not a guy that he's awesome no matter what. So it's not like this is not a guy who's, going to get buried and never because he doesn't win his block in G1. This is one of these dudes that he can lose every fucking match and he's still over as fuck. So, yeah. So I'm gonna take Kenta just to go against the grain here.
There you go. We got 3 different picks there. Nice. One thing is that Naito was in Tokyo Sports, I believe, which is kind of the mouthpiece for quote unquote storyline kayfabe for New Japan Pro Wrestling. And he was saying that the reason he wasn't at whatever that show was that we watched with AEW, Forbidden Door, was because he wasn't asked, which is preposterous, but. It's pretty funny that he went out and he was like, yeah, I wasn't asked. They didn't think they needed me.
Didn't get invited.
Yeah, I wasn't invited. So let's get that seed planted where he's underappreciated. You know what I mean? Like, well done, Naito. D block. for D's nuts, of course. We got El Phantasmo, first time wrestling officially as a heavyweight. David Finlay, Big Old Yoshihashi, Will Ospreay, Shingo Takagi, Juice Robinson, and Yujiro Takahashi. What a fucking dump this fucking group is, with Finlay, Yujiro, and Yoshihashi in the same. Basically interchangeable wrestlers. Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah, could have spread it out a little bit between C and D, added some drama to this thing. It's I feel like they wouldn't go out to 4 blocks and then not have one strange finish. Feels like it could be here, so I'll just throw out Juice Robinson.
Chris, thoughts?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Yoshihashi on this.
Excellent.
This one here, yeah.
Good tits there.
Yeah. No, we're gonna go with Ospreay. I went with the what would you call that? The outlier.
Yeah.
In the
The
favorites.
dark horse.
The dark horse. That's what they would call it.
Yeah.
In the last block. So with Kenta. So I'll go with the obvious here with Will Ospreay.
I'm going to go with Ospreay as well. Mind you, listeners, there's an easy way to cheat to do this, is to look at how the matchups lay out in the last day of it. That usually tells you who's going to win everything. We did not do that. So when I look at the actual matchups later on, we might all look like idiots. So we got Okada versus so our final 4 is Okada, Jay White, then we're out there. Naito, Evil, Kenta, Juice, and then an Ospreay. I don't know who faces who, but out of these options that we've given, who do you think wins G1? Brandon.
Oh God, Naito. I think I'm gonna take Naito. I just feel like it's kind of been looming in the background for a little bit too long here. So to fire him up through a big G1, he hasn't got to properly finish a couple times there. So that's what I'll go with. But yeah, it would be insane to fucking reverse engineer the G1. I would much rather look like an idiot, as you say, than
Right.
than cheat. On our podcast prediction.
It's easy to do. Like, we could just go and like, okay, if the last match of D Block, the final day, is Will Ospreay versus Juice Robinson, right? And Juice Robinson is the guy that has the physical U.S. title, and Will Ospreay is the guy that has the idea of the he's the interim champ while Juice Robinson's been hurt. And they're going to face each other. Depending on where the storyline is, you can guess who's going to win that final match, and therefore wins the group. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's kind of, we could just sit there and do that, but that's no fun.
You never know, though. What was the Stone Pitbull knocked out Jay White when everyone thought he was going during the pandemic?
Yeah, that was
throw
cool.
a curveball at you on the last day every once in a while.
Chris, what do you think? Who you got?
Well, I think I'm not sure about this. Jimmy, you'd be able to answer this better than I can, but I don't know where they are with COVID in Japan. But I'm assuming that we're going to get. I would see if things are open, and people are allowed to cheer in the audience, we're going to get Wrestle Kingdom's going to be Okada and Jay White.
Yeah, I
think Okada is going to be the winner here.
Okada lost the title, so he could win G1.
Yeah.
And remember, that was my prediction for that match against Dominion, was that then he could lose, he will go and win G1, and then he'll face Jay White at Wrestle Kingdom, and it'll be awesome. And that's another thing, I didn't mention it, but this weekend, the TJPW show in Ota Ward is the first wrestling show to officially allow cheering. They're also bringing back streamers, which I did not miss. I was not a streamers fan. I think it's gross throwing toilet paper on fucking colored toilet paper on wrestlers. Fucking disgusting.
Wet guys.
On wet people. I don't like streamers. They don't do it in New Japan, but they do it in other promotions. And with Ota Ward doing it, I think maybe like New Japan's, I think it depends on where you're at, depending on what town you're in, whether you're allowed to cheer or not. And I'm sure the wrestlers are probably pretty stoked after going to the United States and coming back to Japan and being like, yeah, you know what? It was pretty fun to do it in front of a cheering crowd. But hopefully we'll get some cheering in this. All right, so we got Naito. Brandon got Naito, and me and Chris got Okada. All right, none of them are bad picks. El Phantasmo would be a good one.
Filthy Tom Lawler, diaper in the back, condom in the front. It's right to the top.
Diaper in the back, condom in the front. Chris and Brandon, other side of the room. Yeah, yo, who you rooting for win this match?
God.
I'm just watching the show, buddy. Hey, Brandon, there's seats over there. Why don't we move?
I got to go to one of these shows. I still haven't been to a GC Dub show or whatever the fuck they are. Is it GCW?
GCW, I think, is like the parent company for it, but it was Bloodsport.
Yeah,
Bloodsport.
Yeah.
I got to go to one of these. The ones at the Showboat. That's the company that runs the Showboat.
Oh,
It's GC Dub. They're bringing in all these Japanese wrestlers. I want to go, but I don't.
Yeah,
really
well,
want to go to Atlantic City for any reason.
Atlantic City Showboat, where the room looks like fucking Mardi Gras, and it's too well lit for wrestling. Great card, horrible venue. That's
Nice.
what we had a lot of fun, but man, the venue was terrible.
Down by the beach.
Yeah, the funniest part of that is that the first Bloodsport that they did was in like somewhere in New Jersey in this tight little room that was all black and like the lights were off and people were pounding on the sides of the ring with like real Bloodsport looking. And we get there and it's in this fake circus.
Yeah, and none
like
of these
giant merry-go-round painted around the whole thing. It's like bright pink.
And my biggest disappointment was none of the fucking cunts that were there had the wherewithal to fucking chant Kumite during the matches, which really pissed me off.
You should have started it.
I was trying to, and then you had the shirtless guy that looked like a potato with no ass.
Hey,
Right?
Why did someone like that? Well, I guess there's the who gives a shit, my life is over audacity to take your shirt off when you look like that.
He had a bandana on his head and shirt off because it was so hot.
Was it?
No, not at all. If I'm not mistaken, wasn't it like autumn? I forget. It was, no, I think it was earlier than that. I think it was in like September, right? I don't remember when it was, but it was just, yeah, no. He's walking around, shoulders hunched, multiple rolls of back fat,
Nice.
built like a potato. It sticks.
Like a stack of pancakes.
Picture a potato head, but instead of just the feet that go right into the bottom, they actually had stick legs.
Like one of the potato clocks.
Yeah.
Like an M&M type legs.
There you go. I think the Bloodsport Brandon's talking about is the one that was WrestleMania weekend. I almost got tickets.
Yeah, that was that
The
one.
cool one.
Yeah,
that was
it was in North
Barnett.
Jersey though, and I was the cool one. That it was in North Jersey, and I was not commuting out there. I didn't want to do it.
That was Barnett versus Suzuki.
Yeah.
In the main event.
Yeah.
That was Suzuki wrestling 15 wrestling shows in 2 days.
Oh wait, no, my choices were go to that or go see DDT live in America, and I smartly picked DDT.
Yeah, I would have done that too.
Oh my god, it was so much fun. Hey, you want to talk about AEW?
Jimmy had
Hey.
a little Listerine in his pocket for Dino.
I did. He didn't kiss me though. I tried.
Couple breath strips.
I could see
Kiss him.
Jimmy. Kiss me, Dino. Kiss my.
Oh, dude, they were. We might have
Kiss
talked
my-
about this on. So like, it's in this little place in where the fuck was it? Queens? I guess it was in Queens. I don't know New York that well. I think it was in Queens. But it's in this like little nightclub that was upstairs, jam packed with people. And when Dino came out, you should have seen some people were terrified he was going to kiss them, like homophobic men, like running away from the kissing man.
I would have stuck my tongue.
I
right
was
down
like
his
jamming,
throat.
trying to jam my face into him. He wasn't having it. Coronas were 7 up.
I would have sexually assaulted him.
Yeah. Good
He would
times.
have like, whoa, we don't want that.
You ever get a chance to see DT live, definitely do it. Unless you think wrestling's real. All right, let's talk about AEW. Blood and Guts. What am I going to talk about on this show? Christian Cage's promo. How about that? We'll talk about Christian Cage's promo. What's that, Chris?
No, go ahead. Finish what you're saying. I was
Christian Cage's
getting some hate for it. That's all.
Christian Cage's promo. Brandon thoughts.
Great. Double down. Jeez Louise. Some shit that I think is funny, but I'm kind of surprised that he's doing, right? Like I think he was getting some genuine double thumbs down in some of those pans across the crowd when he was mentioning that he wishes Jungle Boy's entire family was dead so that they got to miss the embarrassment that he gave them last week.
I want to apologize to everyone. I didn't want to wish that his father was dead. I wished his entire family was dead. Yeah, there was definitely like people going, boo, boo, like losing their shit in anger. It was pretty good. Chris, thoughts?
So we're, wrestling fans, right? They're all wrestling fans. They're the wrestlers, wrestling fans in AEW, and they are taken aback by Christian's behavior. It's just this whole dude's whole fucking career is this. I mean, like, what's the surprise here that has you so taken aback that fucking Christian Cage is behaving like this? This is his entire career. Next, he'll be throwing temper tantrums, and people will be like, I can't believe he's doing this.
This is like real. Like he's upset with his contract. That's what
That's
say.
why he's flopping on. Remember when he used to?
Yeah, he used to throw his hands.
And then he'll be doing that and be like, oh, he's mad. I know he's, because I know, like, when my boss makes me mad, I feel like doing that. So, like, he's like, like, he's really angry, Tony Khan. And I think he's supposed to go back. I know, like, Triple H put a picture up of him and there was this guy I follow, wrestling, I love wrestling, 69 dollar sign said, and he put a picture. And you could say it's Photoshopped, but it's not Photoshopped. And it's Triple H, and he's standing, but he's got long hair again. Triple H grew his hair long. He doesn't have stubble. He's real clean shaven. He's wearing a DX shirt, and he had Christian Cage next to him. And Christian Cage was kind of dressed like vampire, but it was real. And I think WWE's going to sign him back. Give him the Hall of Fame.
Britton thoughts on that.
So that was a fantastic impression of the internet.
That was the entire internet. Did you see? You guys watch UFC? Did you see the entire WWE crew and Tony Khan and Jim Ross at the show? Brandon?
I did not. I didn't know that happened. But
yeah,
I
guess they ran over from Hell in a Cell and ran to the UFC show. They both were aired the same night, I guess, Saturday night.
Yeah, they were both Saturday night. Hell in a Cell was just outside, whatever the arena that's like technically outside of Vegas, but it's still pretty much in the city. And then what do you call it? Was that MGM Grand, wherever they ran it? I watched most of it, but I was working, so I didn't really, it's just kind of saw everything in passing. I didn't see any of the pro res members.
Yeah, Nick Khan was there, Triple H, Stephanie, and Vince.
Like this is the world that they're in, that this guy's showing his fucking face in public.
Right.
He's like, you know what?
I don't care. I'm going to steal money from a publicly traded company.
Possibly. Possibly.
And Lauren Ice is probably like, I'll take the heat for you.
Sure, boss. I'll do 20 years for you, boss.
Oh, just blame it on me.
I'm from Port Richmond.
Oh, yeah. Well, his brother was, I was always amazed his brother was from Philly. That always took me back. When you guys were talking about that, I forgot that. I remember years ago I saw that whatever World Warrior Animal's name is John.
John.
Number
Paul.
2. But yeah. Anyway.
Wait a minute. It's Jim. Isn't Jim Laurinaitis?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I don't know. He's all of a sudden now at his house going, well, I don't have anything to do anymore. I'm not the chairman. I might as well go out in the town more, Stephanie. Before you say anything, I am not staying put. I am not staying at home. Because now all of a sudden he's more public than ever. The weeks after his sexual assault, you saw him like once a year.
Well, you
and
fit
now
right
it's
in
like
in a UFC
every
show.
every
Sexual
week.
assault's everywhere.
Hold on. Let me, was it sexual assault? I thought it was a consensual relationship. I could be wrong. I'm just asking.
Really?
I thought it was just
the
hush money
is
for
he used hush money.
Yeah,
he sexually assaulted.
Oh, okay. I must have. Listen. I'm not.
And it's bringing up all these other stories of women that he sexually assaulted over the last 40 years.
Once I saw that he did that, I was like, because to me the crime was the big thing he was doing was.
Well, that's the thing that's what's getting him out of his CEO position.
Right.
There's CEOs all over the fucking world that are just sexually assaulting women left and right.
Yeah.
But if he used company money,
right,
for the cover up, which is what they have to look into, and that's what all these lawsuits.
I didn't even realize. Like, I just kind of, at this point now, I'm so inundated with shit news, like, just bad news and horrible things.
Chris,
I just tune out.
Did you see the couple that was fucking in the condo during the
I
shooting?
did. That's good news. That's good news.
That's the
that
only
was
news I care
excellent
about.
news. And he wasn't just fucking.
He
That
was
motherfucker
plowing.
was going.
He was going to town. His cock was like a fucking 12 feet.
Oh God, he was in and out. He had a leg over the head. He was,
yeah, it was so good. Every light in the house on.
He was fucking balls deep on NBC 10. And
Brandon,
you know
what
that
we're
the
talking about?
person.
Yeah, guy was getting a little PUSSY when the celebration shots were coming down.
Good for
God bless him.
God bless America. God bless. What was that? Was that whatever NBC 10 for giving us that plow down, and God bless America.
If you
didn't see it, there's like this pretty sad shot of fireworks going off down on the Parkway with the Art Museum in Philadelphia, and then people scrambling away from gunfire, and then I guess they zoom out a little bit further, and you see an apartment building. Some guys,
2 cops got hit.
balls deep.
Thoughts and prayers. Let's just send them.
And one cervix.
Let me ask you this.
That's the only thing that got destroyed.
That was destroyed.
The only close to dying was that cervix.
Thoughts and prayers. Thoughts and prayers to that cervix. Let me ask you this though. This is what I was. I don't know where. I'm not going to get into the layout because people that are listening to this, there's probably a lot of people who just don't understand the way that this is laid out. So we're just going to. It looked to me when I saw it on TV that a lot of the, because obviously everybody's fucking terrified, right? Like, who knows what's going to fucking happen at one of these events anywhere now. That looked like to me that somebody heard gunshots that was blocks away. This person was blocks away, and a number of those people started running.
Oh yeah,
and then it was just a stampede of people. It was, dude.
That's what the panic is all about.
Yeah, and I will be honest with you. There are multiple reasons why I don't leave our little
cul-de-sac.
What would you call it? Our compound between us and the neighbors, our little compound down here. There are multiple reasons why I wouldn't, and that just added to it. You'll never see me at an event like that again, ever.
Oh, I would never go to something like that.
And you wouldn't have seen me at it 15, 20 years ago either. But I'm just saying, like, if you ever thought that there was a glimmer that somebody might can be, it'll be fun. Nah, no thanks.
What was the one thing? It was like there was a bunch of years ago. There was a bunch of concerts on the Parkway. Was it Live 8?
Yeah, probably
2008.
Yeah.
And we went up there. We walked up there from South Street. We walked up to the Parkway. That was back before we were worried about everybody getting shot up. I'm not going anywhere.
Nope.
Brandon, would you go to the Parkway if it meant you got plowed but could get shot?
I get plowed, or I'm getting plowed and could get shot.
Either way.
No, you're getting either way.
Either way, you're plowing or
you're
getting
plowing
plowed,
or
whatever
getting
you
plowed.
want.
But there's the thought that you might be in a mass shooting.
I definitely think about it, but if there's no plowing, then no, I don't think I'm going to any free public event in one of the biggest cities in America, especially the way things have been going. Well, not even Wawa's giving out free turkey hoagies to everybody like they did last week.
Listen,
shit, dude, I got stuck in the traffic for fucking Hoagie Fest. It was a nightmare. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Why is everybody moving? Nobody's moving. And I realized they have Independence, the whole Independence Hall area in Center City blocked off to give out fucking hoagies.
Turkey.
Shit, turkey hoagies.
It's not even turkey. It's barely turkey.
Lurkey.
It's got just enough. It's turkey. Got just enough under the line. Like they keep it just enough under the line in which it goes from being fucking, it's no longer even food with all the salt and preservatives they stick in there.
Elaine, good stuff. How about that Christian Cage promo? All right, next up. Nothing.
I hate turkey hoagies, by the way. If you're not getting an Italian hoagie.
No, I fucks with turkey hoagie.
What are you even doing?
Yo, Primo's turkey hoagie
Who?
The Crusher.
Yeah.
Yeah, with those stuffed peppers in there.
Uh-huh.
Fuck, dude. You ain't living till you tried it. You ain't living till you tried it, and you ain't dying until you shit it all out the next day. Those fucking hot peppers flying out of your butthole.
And then you're rising again, seeing yourself getting fucking plowed on NBC 10 in the top floor of a condo on the Ben Franklin Parkway.
Okay,
that was how I shit my pants at the beach. Was actually a Diablo, a hoagie from Primo's.
Was it turkey?
No, it's Italian.
Did you actually shit your pants at the beach, or almost? I've almost shit my pants in many situations around the world.
Everywhere in the globe.
I completely shitted them. I full pile shitted them. It was.
Did you go to the ocean and watch that?
So what I did was, I
shit in the Chesapeake once too. So go ahead.
I had a Diablo Italian and like 5 or 6 twisted teas, and I was like, oh boy, something's got to give real quick here. And we were nowhere near the public restroom, so I was like, I could either go into the ocean or I could go out into the dunes, and I was like, I'm just gonna drop it in the dunes.
You shit all over that woman's cable wire.
And as I was getting to the dunes, I was like, it's coming out right now. So I pulled my bathing suit down around my ankles, blasted, and then looked down, and all of it had just landed in the net of my bathing suit between my legs.
So like a cheesecloth. It was just the solid stayed in, the liquid stayed.
Now I'm nowhere near the ocean with just a pile sitting in a teal bathing suit that's around my ankles.
So I was in the Chesapeake Bay, and I told you a story about this. Was it last week, 2 weeks ago, about this great place near the Chesapeake Bay that we used to go in? It was a private beach. You could do whatever you want. The stingrays are swimming up to you. Well, I had to take a shit. I didn't feel like walking back to the house. So I just walked. I pretended I was going out I was like, look, I'm gator walking. I went out in the water because the water was really low up until a certain point. You had to go really deep for it to get deep. And I was going, and then I was like dunked down, took my pants off, and I just started pushing my ass up and down in the water and let that shit come rolling out.
Got that
Just
deep fucking squat.
And I was going, ooh, something's got me. Something's got me.
It feels great.
It does. It's like a fucking enema. Big old log came out, and then I just squatted down and took some salt water and washed my ass all out. Walked away. The person that was with me did not find it as funny as I did. I was in tears. I was fucking drowned. I was laughing so hard. I almost ate the shit that I just shit into the ocean.
You gotta be careful with that, especially with the still water. It's like it doesn't go anywhere. It's just hanging around.
Just sticking around. Good times. There you go, Chris. Thoughts, Chris?
Did you ever poop in the ocean, Chris?
No. I shit in a porta-john when we were tubing one time, and there was no toilet paper, so I just kind of pinched them and just went into the water and then sat next to my tube as it floated down. It just kind of washed my ass in the water.
You got to do the dunk, like an agitator in a washing machine.
Yeah,
just keep dunking your ass up and down like whoosh, whoosh.
I mean, I've shit myself on numerous occasions, but
that's not as
never
much
in
fun.
water.
There you go. Norovirus for everyone. Speaking of shit, how about blood and guts match?
That's right.
Brandon, thoughts? Nice segue.
That was a great segue. Do I have any thoughts, though? Not really. I don't know. I think I was getting a little cage matched out, though, at this point after, which I'm not a huge cage match guy in the first place at this point after watching Stardom. And then this, we'll give a shout out to the Jericho Appreciation Society's red matching pleather gear with mesh and fedoras. I mean, that was just good stuff. The match itself, though, I just had a hard time carrying throughout at this point. We were waiting for the spot where somebody crashed into a bunch of styrofoam. We got that. Claudio Batman Calzone ends up winning on top of the cage. That was it. 4th of July weekend.
There you go.
That's all I got.
Here's thoughts.
I really like this.
There you go. Good.
Yeah, I had a good time. I watched it the next morning. So I
There you go.
wasn't
So you
all
weren't gassed
wrestling.
by the
Yeah,
time you
yeah, I
watched it.
wasn't
See, I watched
gassed.
it
It wasn't.
today.
Yeah, I probably would have been annoyed by it as well if I watched it today because it's your typical, cage match spots. I did like, I believe, um, I don't know. Oh, I I do like the fact that Guevara went from this high flying killer to a fucking coward and just gets the shit beaten at him because he basically just got the shit beaten at him the entire match. So it was good. Eddie Kingston looked like he got hurt at some point on the top. Because you could see like he was Claudio was trying to pick him up to help him up, and he was like, you saw him say, "I'm okay, I'm all right. I don't know what happened. It's just my back." So I don't know what happened to him, but he got a little banged up in that match. But there was a lot of fun spots, a lot of cowardly heels getting the shit kicked out of them. So, and I thought the ending was really good. The double submission on the top where Claudio gets the actual submission, which is pissing Eddie Kingston off. He's mad again. Winning wasn't enough. He had to get the submission on Jericho. So, but yeah, it was
Frick.
I thought it was a good match. I enjoyed it. Mox was, in his element. They did break out bags of thumbtacks, which I'm completely over.
I was a big fan. I
like
when he threw the text in Jericho's face. That was good.
Yeah, that was good. And Blockhead getting slammed on him. He got power bombed or whatever he got on top of them. So, all in all, for television, no TV's free, but TV on a Wednesday night at 10 o'clock, I thought this was excellent. I really enjoyed it.
I liked the problem I have with these, especially War Games matches in general, is it just takes a while to build to it mattering. And then when Kingston comes in with the kendo stick and it's just walking around whacking people, one-shotting everybody, that was pretty fucking good. I did enjoy, which happened in break. Apparently, someone got pile drove on glass, which I missed.
Yeah, I didn't see that. They missed that.
They talked about it and they should have replayed. And I still didn't know what the fuck was going on. I guess we get Ruby Soho is getting worked into this angle now too, so she's involved. So they're doing something with her since she's not involved in the title scene. There was skewers, if I remember correctly. There was Fork.
Mox pulled the skewers out of his back pocket, which is always fun.
But I think I'm in Brandon's boat where I was like, there were plenty of. I mean, that's the thing with cage matches in general. You're there for the spots. The problem is that this match was fucking 50 minutes long.
Yeah,
it's like 45 minutes long.
Yeah,
and 25 of it, 30 minutes of it, it was just the same. It was just. I was not interested in. It was the last 10 that I was interested in. 15 minutes I was interested in.
It's interesting if you take it's obviously the war games. You take the war games concept, you rewind it to the first time that they ever did the war games, right? And you look at the context in which they did it. They had never done this match before, right? You always leave the baby face that's you want to see in there the most as the last guy. And he comes in and cleans house. In the original War Games, that was always Road Warrior Hawk, right? Think about what you want about the Road Warriors. They weren't great workers, but they were over as fuck, especially back then. And he was out of his fucking mind. So he would come in and just clean house and just beat the shit out of everybody. So it was like it hit all the spots, right? It gave you everything you needed. But now we've seen it so many times.
Right.
That it's just like, it's fun, it's cool, but like you said, we're taking an hour, 45 minutes to build to the point that now it's all right. Now we're going to get the ending, we're going to get the finish, and hopefully it's going to be a satisfying finish, but we get the finish, and this is nothing new. And I'm sure a majority of the people that watch this have probably seen every War Games up until all the NXT ones. They took a break for years. You didn't see it. So the NXT ones were exciting again. But eventually it's just, there's only so much you can do to make it interesting. Because if I'm not mistaken, the ending, somebody getting thrown off the cage, was the exact same ending as last year.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Right? Somebody got chucked off the cage. Jericho got chucked off the cage. They even brought that up.
Was there a submission on the top in the last
There was some, no, I'm just saying when they quit, they surrendered because the what were they? The Inner Circle
You're talking about the
last year surrendered because MJF was gonna chuck Jericho off the cage, and he did it anyway.
That's right.
Right, which was a great heel move. I'm gonna throw him. It was a good finish. We don't want you to throw a friend off. We'll concede the loss, and then the asshole heel fucking takes it and then does it anyway. But the spot was the same, right? So eventually, it's like we're already in repeats here, and this idea is already not as fresh.
But you enjoyed it.
I did. I had fun watching it. It wasn't like, but I can see where you would think, it's a slog, right? And I was watching, I believe, so I worked. I usually don't work on Wednesday night, so I would have watched this live. I ended up working Wednesday night and having off Thursday. So I had no work ahead of me. I had 2 days off in a row. I had my coffee in front of me. I got a good night's sleep. So it was just a perfect storm of me being in a really good fucking mood to watch this match. And I think that had a lot to do with it. So I could see how if you are after the weekend, you've already watched some cage matches and then you go do this thing, you might be like, nah, I've fucking seen it before.
Also, one of the problems that I think War Games has, so it's basically a massive tag match. So there's always, and the bad guys always have the 2-on-1 advantage. So 4 times you get the hot tag, pretty much. The quote unquote hot tag happens, where the babyface comes in, starts beating everybody up. Then they start losing again. Then the hot tag happens again. Babyface goes, and one of the things we complain about is the repetitive nature of tag team wrestling, which kind of leans heavily into it, where it makes it until everybody's really in the ring. That's only when I want to pay attention. You know what I mean? Because now I know, like, okay, something different might happen. Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah. And I will say, like, to Chris's point, it's completely my fault that I didn't watch this Wednesday night going into a holiday weekend, just trying to get loosened up and relax and enjoy myself. I'm doing it on the 4th of July, where I'm like, I would like to be out in the fucking pool listening to Steely Dan right now, and I got to watch a repeat of last year's cage match with Chris Jericho with a couple new characters. But one thing we didn't mention, Cool Hand Ange and Daddy Magic are really landing with me in this, like, Scotty 2 Hottie-ish spot where, like, they're just so silly the whole time. Their faces are, like, innately stupid looking, and I enjoy watching them on TV.
And have no problem bleeding all over the fucking place. Jesus Christ.
So I was just going to add that, and it was right to the point that you just made. You just kind of brought it up, that when you see this, and like you said, like, you're waiting to get to the point where it matters. It ends up being like you enjoy the character work that goes on. Just the little things. Look what he's doing. Look what he's doing. Look what that guy's doing. And those two really stood out as far as, like, being the guys that are just making it all kind of like the actors involved are playing their roles subtly or not so subtly, but, like, they're playing them perfect, and they're adding a ton of nuance to something that's kind of like, I mean, none of this matters until the last guy gets in. But, I think those two did a fantastic job, and I think Garcia did a fantastic job as well. And I think, like I said, I think Sammy Guevara is doing a fantastic job of being what everybody thinks he is now, a piece of shit. So.
I mean, these matches are designed, hopefully, like, for the guys that are in the undercard to get over. Those bottom guys.
Yeah.
The bottom 4 dudes that are so this way they can get some reps, get in there and look great. And they did.
And I will say this too. They're doing a great job of, now that you bring in Claudio, and even with Danielson, it doesn't matter. Size doesn't matter. It's just the skill level of the guys that they're bringing in, these technical guys, these guys that can really work. And they managed to now bring Hager, that character, down to earth. Like, he's beatable by anybody on the roster, right? Like, you don't have, like, it almost seemed like when they brought Hager in, he was one of the original guys that they brought in. It almost seemed like they had this thought that they were going to have him as their Brock on some level, right? The monster heel, the enforcer in the bad guy faction, blah, 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 blah. But over the last few months, they've managed to kind of put the brakes on that and believably put him in a position, because he's not that believable as that. It just seemed like they were going to use him there. And they've kind of brought him down to the level of anybody with any level of skill is going to be able to go toe to toe with this big guy. And it doesn't make him look bad. It makes everybody else look good.
It would also help if he worked more. He doesn't work.
Yeah, he doesn't.
And he doesn't talk on the mic at all.
And
he just shows up with his little skinny legs. And I mean, it's like, he's a dude, I guess.
Yeah.
Final thoughts on War Games, Blood and Guts, Brandon?
I don't think I have anything else. Christian Cage, probably the most interesting thing going on. And Luchasaurus, too.
Evil Luchasaurus.
By proxy of Christian Cage's work, add another dimension to Dinosaur Man, who was getting pretty stale.
Yeah, he was losing all the time. Hopefully he can dominate for a little while. Monster heel, that shit. Chris, any final thoughts on this?
No, I mean, I could say not really. Well, one little one. I can say this probably after we talk, if we're going to talk about Rampage or whatever.
Yeah, I got Rampage up. I'm be honest with you, I did not watch it.
Well, I will say this. I'll say it now, man, and get it out of the way. I don't know about you guys, but I was just thinking about this today, that I'm actually at a point in which I'm excited to watch AEW.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm looking forward to tomorrow night. And even like it gives you this, like, it gives you this early. I'm getting the feeling now of this early Monday Nitro feel of that first match is going to be hot. Yeah. Who's it going to be? What are they going to do? You know what I mean? Because back in the day, you turn on WCW and it was fucking Juventud and fucking Rey Mysterio was the first match. We've talked about this before. I like how they're starting it hot. I get excited for it. And here's the other thing about it. If they started hot and I don't like what's on, fucking change the channel and go back to it. It's like watching a baseball game. You get bored, turn it off, go back later.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm digging it. And I'm very happy that it's on, and I'm very happy I get to watch it, because the other option of network television wrestling is uninteresting, to say the least.
Absolutely.
Not to go off into something we don't really watch, but I was curious. I got a text from a friend of mine whose brothers were both at Money in the Bank.
Where's Money in the Bank? Oh, it was in Vegas.
It was in Vegas. He got me a text. He said, "This is so-and-so seat." And I said, "I'll be honest with you, I don't watch it at all." He said the same thing. And then I looked up who was in the Money in the Bank match, and it was a dud. It was a dud.
Which one? Men's or women's?
The men's. I didn't even bother. I was working. I was like on a little break, and I was like, I wonder who's in it. And I put it up, and the first one that came up was the men's match. And I was like, this is not interesting to me at all. I mean, and it's just like shows you the lack of interest that we have in this entire product, their entire product.
I'll top you. I don't even know who was in it. I don't know who was on it. I don't know what the outcome was. I don't know anything. I know that Shotzi Blackheart deleted her Instagram account because people were harassing her.
Really?
Sweet. That's all I know. I don't know who won. I've completely pulled myself out of it because I'm so disinterested in WWE.
So from what I understand, from what I think I'm right here. And I looked at who was in the match, and I was like, oh, it's obvious who's winning the men's match. It wasn't. It was Austin Aries. Not Austin Aries. Austin
Theory.
Austin Theory. It was Austin Theory. Austin Theory won the men's match. Liv Morgan won the women's match, and she cashed in and beat Ronda Rousey.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how it happened, but that's the end.
Oh, wait, I did see a clip of that. Yeah. Okay, so I did see Liv Morgan win the title.
Yeah, so that's that.
Sorry, it was just out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, exactly.
Austin Aries, I forgot about him. That was the one Impact event that I watched. They had a pay-per-view, and I was just home alone, very bored.
Oh, the one where he quit?
The main event was he just no-sold John Morrison, flipped off, what the fuck's his name? Orange guy, Kenny Omega's Callis, Don Callis. Yeah. And walked off cursing, and I was like, Jesus Christ! I don't watch like these. You get to a certain level of operation, yeah.
Yeah. But, I guess Shotzi. I guess people were harassing her online. She retorted, and then she deleted her account. They bullied her because they're mad at her because she made fun of Jericho and his flop from last year.
Is that what it was about?
I think so.
It's so boring.
Yeah. I'm deep in women's professional wrestling Twitter, so I find out everything that has to do with women. I couldn't tell you about the men. I don't know who won the men's one. Austin Theory? I don't. That's the rape guy, right? Didn't he have sex with?
I know enough
to girl.
Oh God. I know enough to like after WrestleMania just walk away. I take my money and run when it comes to WWE.
I'll see you at Survivor Series or SummerSlam. Be like,
So
that guy's still wrestling.
I did a little research here real quick, and it's the same thing that WWE fans always do. She botched. Apparently, she had a hard time. I don't want to say botch because I can't do any of these spots. Apparently, she had a hard time with a few spots. Mm-hmm. Some were awkward, some were rough, and then all the fans screamed she should be fired.
Fired.
The
fans.
Meanwhile, you you don't work. Your job is you are on the lowest end of the totem pole because not because you can't do the job, but because you're fucking unreliable and you're a piece of shit. And you told your boss that you couldn't work because your grandmother was sick on Saturday night and you stayed home and you watched fucking Money in the Bank on Peacock, you piece of shit.
He's talking about somebody.
No, I'm not talking about anybody. I just made that up because I used to do that.
You know what they definitely aren't? Wrestling fans? Plowing some girl on fucking television while there's a mass shooting happening in Center City, Philadelphia. They're definitely not doing that.
Not doing that.
You know what would have been awesome? I hope it happened this way, that he just fucking blew his load just as those shots were fired.
He's like, oh.
He was like, oh.
No, it was definitely like, like helicopters going by, gunshots going off, and they're just going to town. And she's like, I think there's something going on outside. He's just like, well, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Be quiet. Shh. I'm almost done.
Keep still.
Almost done. Then they find out, I'm on television.
Plowing.
Fucking legend.
Jeez. Fucking goat.
Remember being young? It was fun. All right, let's talk about Rampage.
I couldn't fuck like that when I was young.
I'd fuck like that.
2-3 minutes.
That's it. Maybe we only caught. Maybe he only fucked for the amount of time we saw him. Just luckily caught him going to town. Then
he could have got caught in like the greatest 10 seconds of his year.
Yeah, that was it.
Which either way, good for him.
All right, you guys watch Rampage. I didn't. Royal Rampage. What does that mean? It says Royal Rampage.
Yeah. So because
there was a battle royal.
How did
I miss this?
2 rings. I'll explain it.
Okay.
2-ring battle royal. Guys come out, you know how, so they came out Royal Rumble style in a red ring and a blue ring. So I can only imagine what these guys were, who they were taking stabs at.
Right.
I think it was every 2 minutes somebody came out, but you were restricted to the red ring or the blue ring. So the first guy came out, he was red ring. Second guy came out, he was blue ring. 2 guys were already in there, I believe.
Right.
Then third comes
out. 4 guys, 2 rings.
Right.
And then do they come out together, red ring, blue ring at the same time?
4. I think 4 guys came out initially. So you had 2 and 2.
Right. Yeah, 2 on 2, and then they start trickling out 1, 1, 1,
and then 1. So it was every 2 minutes a guy went into the assigned ring. So it was like 3 guys in one ring, 2 guys in the other ring. So they.
But is it ever a situation where like red ring got called? Was it random?
Okay. No, it was back and forth. Okay. Back and forth.
I did not watch. I have no idea.
Yeah, so they took turns and they were restricted to the ring that they were in. They had I'm going to be honest with you. I think that they pulled this off very well without it getting very confusing. They kept guys. They had a lot of guys looked really good. Namely Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs looked excellent in it. And I'm trying to think of like just about everybody that was in there. Like they worked it really well as far as not missing eliminations. Things kind of made sense for something that should have come off very confusing because you had like 40 dudes. They did a good job with it. The ending.
Takeshita in there was Takeshita.
Takeshita was in there, looked great, kicked the shit out of quite a few guys in there.
Oh, you know what? I saw the clip where he double German suplexed. Was it Ricky Starks and Darby Allin?
It could have been, or was it? No, it was Swerve. I think and Darby Allin.
Swerve and Darby Allin. That's what it was.
Swerve and Darby Allin. He double suplexed them. Your latest, I think one of the last guys, could have been the last guy in whatever ring, was Brody King. Came out, cleaned house. Then the 2 that were left had to wrestle in one ring, or they wrestled in both. I don't remember. And it ended up being Darby Allin, who I believe was like third or fourth, and Brody King. And what I thought was a great fucking ending. Brody King just basically kicked the shit out of him. Darby Allin, them playing up the fact that Darby Allin had been in there since the beginning. So Darby Allin still looks fucking great, right? And Brody King put Darby Allin in a sleeper hold, hung him outside the ring, just stood him up, lifted him over the top ropes, and held him up with his feet dangling, choked him out, and then just dropped him. It was a really good ending.
Roosh was in this too. This is his first official match.
Yeah.
Yes, Roosh
How'd
made
he
an
look?
appearance.
How
He
did
looked
Roosh
really
look?
very strong. They made everybody that they wanted to look good looked good.
He,
I
like Pentagon knocked him out, and Pentagon went out with him.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so him and Penta. You're right.
Yeah,
and
Brandon.
Butcher and Blade actually look good too. Butcher's like, cool. I don't know if he's on tour or what. He comes in and out, I feel like, of AEW, but he's like pretty ripped now. So
Yeah, he's sober now. And
we're like there at the end, and yeah, he lost that like beer barrel chest.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Every Time I Die he broke up. So I don't think he's touring unless he's touring with another band.
Okay. I have no idea, but it's like
I definitely know he's getting sober, so that'll make a big difference.
Sense. It's like if you just drink enough beer, your chest just starts to turn into like a actual keg looking shape.
Just look at me.
And then he somehow he's shaking that. He's pretty cut now. And him and Brody King kind of like look the same in a weird way. So it was cool, those two at the end. But this was entertaining. And then hit the fast forward button for a little while. Keep it moving.
Young Bucks versus Bushiman, Bashi, Goto and Yoshihashi. Chris, thoughts?
Goto's got a stick too.
Yeah, they both have sticks.
Yeah, that's my thoughts.
Fuck, what are they called? Not Bushiman. I forgot what it is.
Something with a B. Dudes.
Brandon, do you have thoughts?
I don't know that I do. I mean, this was fun. Goto, I thought, looked cool. It's another one to Chris's point where I'm kind of speeding around at this point, and you're like, wait, what the fuck? Yoshihashi versus the Young Bucks on TNT here, where it does keep you, like, even if you don't feel like watching, you have to keep an eye on it because there's going to be some insane thing coming up during the card. So
Goto rules.
Cool in that sense. I guess the Young Bucks had something where they're like, everybody that they know is hurt or not around, so they're like, don't know what to do with themselves, and that was what the match ended up being about. But I don't know. I still like the Young Bucks aren't landing in this second title reign.
So the Young Bucks said, the way you just described it. So the Young Bucks were like, oh, we're bored. We have nothing better to do. Let's bring in some guys from New Japan and wrestle them.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's terrible. That's stupid. All right. What else we got? Tony Storm versus Nyla Rose. Brandon, thoughts?
This I didn't watch.
Chris,
skip it. Skip it. I don't even remember it, to be honest with you.
It looks like that the reviews are not that great. So there you go. I did not watch Rampage. You really got to fucking sell me on Rampage to get me to watch it. I do not give a shit about that fucking show.
The saving grace of Rampage is I never watch it live.
If I always work, I'll watch it.
I'll watch.
Yeah, I'll pay
that's
attention to
totally,
work because I don't want to work.
That's a totally different animal. But if I'm up, I can't sleep, whatever, because I'm usually calling it at night on Friday nights by then. And I'm not going to put wrestling on while I'm laying in bed. But the great thing about Rampage is that it's a fucking hour, and I can fast forward through it and be done it in 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like these matches that I'm not interested in, or if they're a dog, gone, I'm done. And I find myself when I do watch Rampage. In the morning, I'll watch it. I'll watch a match. If I don't want to watch the first one, I find myself usually ending that program by fast forwarding, like at some point going, okay, this isn't interesting, and fast forwarding it all to the end. The weird thing that I find with that is that you are now, when you do that, when you go to AEW Live, these matches is that I'm sure I'm not the only one that's fast forwarding through these matches are after the whole Dynamite card.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been there. You know how
times.
you feel. It's just like you should put a little bit. Look, if you want to you usually do 3 matches on Rampage, right? And then some other crap. You want to do two dogs and a really good match? I mean, you can really sell that program if the main events are really good.
Well, we twice we went. I think Ricky Starks was on Rampage twice, so it made us pay attention for Ricky Starks because we wanted to see Rick because we're Ricky Starks fans. So we were like, okay, but by the end of it, you're fucking exhausted, man. It's fucking tough.
And when it's on TV, I'm usually watching all 3 hours at once. And the first match of Rampage is like ex-top guy versus Lee Moriarty. Right. And that's enough to make me kind of dump out mentally. But this week you turn it on and you're like, 20-man Royal Rumble. It's like, talk about match types that are used a lot. The blood and guts style match, War Games match, I'm not that interested in. I could pretty much always get suckered into a Rumble where someone's coming out one after another for a half hour.
Right. Cage matches, maybe not, but Royal Rumble's fun because there's some surprises and stuff like that.
Takes me back to being a kid playing WWE SmackDown versus Raw.
Right.
It's a good use of the fact that you have the two rings there. You can't have too many matches without using those two fucking rings.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Like, because you got people on the other side of those rings. It's just it's no good.
Yeah.
And so it's almost like, okay, we're gonna do a battle royal to figure out who's gonna wrestle Mox. Then we might as well use both of these fucking rings. They did a really good job. I thought, especially with it being on Rampage, they did a really good job of that battle royal, and I'm glad. And the prospect coming out of it, what we're gonna have Mox wrestle Brody King is fucking phenomenal. I love it. I'm really excited. I don't know if that's this week or not, but I'm really excited.
It is. We're gonna talk about it in a second. Yeah, Mox versus big guys is always good because we're used to him kicking the shit out of people, and then he gets some. He finally gets some size against him, and he's looks like he can't do anything against him. But here we go. Here's the AEW Dynamite match card. Well, it makes sense that the Butcher and Blade were booked strong on Rampage because they're facing Swerve in Our Glory. I'm going to go through these, and then you guys give your thoughts. Christian Cage and Luchasaurus appear live. How about this? Thunder Rosa and Toni Storm versus Nyla Rose and Marina Shafir. I quickly fell off the Marina Shafir train. She is pretty boring. TNT Championship match. Street fight. Oh, God. Scorpio Sky versus Wardlow. And we get our interim AEW World Championship match. Jon Moxley versus Brody King. Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah, not bad. Christian Cage is going to have to start saying some wild shit, or he's going to run out of runway pretty quick here if he's just going to be picking on Jungle Boy every week. He's pretty much pushed that to the limit.
Luchasaurus is my son because I fucked a dinosaur.
Yeah. And
now I'm going to fuck Jungle Boy's mother.
Marina Shafir, I agree, not as compelling to me. The Swerve Keith Lee tag team.
Yeah, I don't
really have an opinion on them. I don't think I have anything positive to say. I guess Wardlow is winning the belt now this week off of Scorpio Sky.
Street fight sounds like interference.
Is that what it is? The street fight?
Street fight.
Yeah.
There's got to be a fan base for Scorpio Sky, right? Like, why?
Yes, that's Starcast.
Any other thoughts? Chris, thoughts?
Yeah, I would assume that they hopefully they move forward this eventual breakup of Keith Lee and the other dude Swerve, right?
Takes a while, man. AEW takes a while with everything.
Yeah.
The problem, look, I'm not going to listen. I enjoy long-term storytelling. I don't like when it's so obvious. Where the clues are there. They're WWE style clues where they're slapping you in the face, but then it takes fucking 6 months for it to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're going to do subtle breakup, that's fine. Do it over a course of a year. But if you're just going to keep like screwing each other over and then you're just going to be like, we're buddies again. It just, everybody looks stupid.
Yeah, I agree. I feel the same way. What else do we have? Thunder Rosa and Toni Storm.
Thunder Rosa and Toni Storm versus Nyla Rose and Marina Shafir.
This may be an unpopular opinion, but Thunder Rosa as champion, I'm not a big fan of it. I think she's much better chasing. I do not like her with the belt. I find her boring.
Every baby face though.
Yeah, I find her. I find her boring. I find her that the character loses its edge with her having a title.
Mhm.
She's better when people are fucking with her and she's really mad. So, and Marina Shafir, I mean, two totally different. I'm only using the comparison for one thing. They're nothing like one another. But it's almost like, this is another woman that has really no experience in professional wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So to draw the parallel with Jade Cargill, but then Jade Cargill has all those other pieces that you look past the fact that she's getting better as it goes, right? She has everything else. And Marina Shafir, like, this is somebody that needs to be so technically sound and can tell the story so well without speaking. And she's just not there yet.
I think the issue is that she should be booked as a killer. She isn't. She's booked as a loser,
right?
But she doesn't sound like someone because she doesn't speak. She doesn't talk shit. She doesn't do anything. She just goes in and loses all the time. So it's boring. It's really boring.
Yeah, I agree.
I got to say, thank God they got rid of fucking Guerrero as Nyla Rose's mouthpiece, though. Nyla Rose is great on the mic. Also, I think that Tony Storm is way better as a heel. Tony Storm turning on Thunder Rosa, I think, is the story of this.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Brandon, thoughts?
No, I'm good. You guys nailed it. I don't think I have too much else. Tony Storm probably is better than where she's been put. I think they finally got a win for her last week, so keep it moving.
I'm
good.
Just want to add really quick. Like, even though, like, it's they're playing the roles of people on television and they're not really these people in real life, but they pretend that this is real life. And, you kind of work this murky area of what's real and what's fake on your social media and this and that, blah, blah, blah. When you have a wrestling couple, right?
That's the worst.
I don't like if the wrestling couple, if the one couple A is a heel and B is a babyface. Tony Storm is a babyface. Why is this person with virtue she's married, I believe, married to this complete piece of shit, Juice Robinson? Like,
see, I don't care about that.
No, what I'm saying is it's just a little thing I'm pointing out. Like, it's just weird. It's like, if you're going to try to blur these lines, shouldn't the piece of shit be married to the piece of shit in real life, especially when you talk about it on TV?
Have they blurred it, though, on AEW?
What do you mean? No, but she does on her social media. She's always mentioning it.
It's a TV show, though.
I get it, but is it?
Yes.
I mean, it is, but is it? Because some people blur the line, other people don't.
Right.
Some people use it as a tool to promote themselves. Some people talk shit on other wrestlers on their social media. Right?
Right.
So
but unless it's explicitly mentioned, I think for like canon's sake, for storyline's sake, unless it's specifically mentioned on the TV show, I don't think it really right.
I understand what you're saying.
Matters.
But wrestling was much cooler when we didn't know what the fuck their personal lives were.
Well, I mean, whatever.
So I don't know.
We live in this era, though, so we got to kind of.
They don't have to. They can not do it.
You don't see anybody in Japan recognizing who they're dating. Io Shirai has never come out and said, "Yeah, I'm getting married to Evil."
Well, I'm just saying.
Like, she
I
hasn't
like
done
that.
it.
I like that. That's what I'm saying.
This is part of the weird kayfabe world that we live in.
Right.
Not kayfabe. It's broken.
I guess it's me. I guess it's me wanting kayfabe. I think kayfabe makes for a better program.
And it still exists some places, but it doesn't exist in the United States for sure.
Yeah.
Although fucking Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins do a pretty good job of it.
Becky Lynch is fantastic. Even Ronda Rousey and fucking Natty do a great job of it. And Ronda Rousey's out of her fucking tree. You know what I mean? I think she posted like, I respect what you did and I understand why you did it to Liv Morgan, and Natty, you're still a piece of shit. You know what I mean? Like, I like that kind of stuff if you're going to do it.
Mind you, her and Natty are probably working every day training together.
She's probably who trained her.
Best buds. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brandon, thoughts?
No, I'm good, man. Let's back it up.
I've had enough. You know what?
Yeah, I got to pee. That's probably why I was a little annoyed there.
I just
probably why that was bothering me. That shouldn't.
I got a bucket of water. I just shit in it like it's the fucking Chesapeake Bay.
You got a tub. You got one of those ice bathtubs. When we see you doing this on the podcast,
Feeling my ball.
It's kind of splashing up. That's when you're shitting in the ice bath.
The trough.
This I might be on Channel 10 News. Fucking girl in the window. Yeah, there we go.
Trying to get the right spot in the trough here. Make sure I don't get any backsplash.
You're not sitting next to somebody that's a pro wrestler that you wouldn't recognize. As per Chris.
Hmm?
Thanks for joining us this week. And join us here every week at Wrestling is Hard. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at hard4wrestling. Subscribe and follow. Tell your friends. For Brandon and Chris, I'm Jim, and we will be back here next week.